Welcome everybody. This is your Black YouTube therapist, D. Durrell Spears here today. I'm at the practice. I wanted to have a small discussion with you about addiction. And what has propelled me to talk about addiction today is that I've been watching a few live streams today that actually talked about various types of addiction. And they talked about people who are addicted to the internet, people who are addicted to social media, people who are addicted to any type of online platform. And so, what I like to do is give you somewhat of an analysis, my clinical work related experience, professional experience in treating, assessing, and providing services to people who have various types of addiction. And before I get started, I would like to first point out that addiction related illnesses or addiction related diagnoses is probably the smallest portion of my clientele, and it's the services that I basically um, are not prone to provide as much as others because it's my least favorite population to treat. And the reason why it is because when you're dealing with people with addiction, there is a very, very, very high burnout rate. And there's also the constant dealing with recurrent issues over and over again. And you're making progress, you get them to a certain point, and then within a month, you're starting all over again, which is a challenge. I get that. The other reason is that there's a large percentage, particularly um, people that I have dealt with. I was actually treating them through government contracts and government agreements and other social service agreements, and they were tied to the court system. They were tied to other different parole, probation, and so in that, I was also agreeing to have to go to court. Also, my records could have been subpoenaed. So there's all types of legal things that are involved when you're dealing with a large percentage of people who have addiction, because many of those people may have DWIs, they may have a DUI, they may be on probation, parole, or either in the past, present, or they're in lieu of that in a pending case. So for my position, even though I charge a nice chunk of change to do consulting, to be an expert witness, go um, to court and have to wait 3 to 5 hours before you're able to do your testimony, and then you have a lawyer putting you on the stand and critiquing every bit of your notes and all of your work and all the time that you have engaged with them. I don't find that the best use of my time. And that's, to me, instead of saying the second, I think that's actually the biggest reason beside the burnout. I think just the other extra things that could potentially happen that will take a lot of your time could be, from in my position, could have been suited elsewhere, providing direct services to people who need it. I enjoy doing mental health related services along um, with relationship therapy, or people who have personal issues in their relationships, whether it's marriage, or in a couple, just a regular typical dating relationship. I enjoy those two areas the most. And so when we're looking at addiction, I want to make note that, theoretically speaking, it doesn't matter if the person is diagnosed with a substance use disorder or substance abuse disorder, or whether it's opioid use, or opioid, or some type of substance intoxication, or whatever type of DSM diagnoses. I want to make you aware that, theoretically speaking, the treatment is the same. Okay, whether a person is gambling, whether a person has a online uh, addiction, in which social media addiction, or I think it's called nomophobia, it is not in the DSM. So because it's not in the DSM, um, professionally, I am unwilling, unless it is published, or unless I see it in a professional publication, I am unwilling to discuss that in full scale until I see it in professional literature. And I haven't seen it. I've seen it on social media outlets posting things. I've seen it in some magazines. However, I've never seen it in, to me, more reputable sources that would make me comfortable to use it as a reference to speak in detail. So I'm not going to speak on that. But excuse me. But what I will say is that regardless of the addiction, the treatment process theoretically is the same. Now, how you go about delivering those services and what and markers, certain behavioral markers that you're looking for and telltale signs may be a little different. But my approach to treating someone with alcoholism is no different than my approach using cognitive behavioral systems and theory is no different than someone who has a opioid disorder, opioid abuse situation, someone who is using cocaine, someone who's abusing marijuana, someone who's gambling, someone who is addicted to whatever type of behavior, even gaming. There was a proposal to put gaming addiction in the DSM, and that failed also. So, regardless of the addiction, it is the clinical process that one facilitate with the client that will allow them, regardless of the addiction, to heal and extinguish that behavior. And from my position, there are different types of treatments that can be used. Some believe in a disease management model. Some believe in a preventative model. Some people incorporate things such as cognitive behavioral models to treat it. Some people like to use problem solving related. Gestalt therapy was when I was training in my early days was used a lot in substance abuse. So there are tons of different approaches that one can use in helping someone uh, minimize or extinguish addictive behaviors. I think that reality therapy, by which was created by a guy named Henry Glazer, to me could be a very um, productive means of force therapy as far as helping someone uh, no longer want to abuse any type of substance or behaviors that are addictive. The key thing that I think we must understand is how someone functions with their addiction. Okay? Because when we look at the the AA model, which is, and I want you all to also understand that AA and NA is not therapy. It's not, and it is a very very um I would say effective support model, but it's not therapy. Okay, because there's no therapist that is facilitating. Although there may be some that may have a therapist there, AA is about the group managing the healing process and using the 12 steps and holding each other accountable. NA is the same way. It's just that you're replacing alcohol with whatever substance or drug of choice. Addiction to YouTube, addiction to Instagram, being addicted to any type of behavior or a some type of activity that lowers your ability to function poses a problem. An example: telltale signs that you may be addicted is when you begin to ignore day-to-day functioning relative to your life, such as reading, refusal to eat 3 meals a day, not bathing, not combing your hair, not putting on deodorant, not showering because you want to be on YouTube for 28 hours in a row. Okay? A neglect of your mental health and your physical health. I'm sorry. The fact that you are willing to lose your job repetitively because you choose to call in because you want to go, because you want to be on social media. You decided that during my job, instead of doing my job, I'm on social media for 5 hours. And if you are put in a position where you are unable to be on social media or use that drug of choice, it causes a level of anxiety, stress, or comfortable or being uncomfortable. Okay? This is what happens when someone is clinically addicted. And the fact that the cycle of this has, in my opinion, should last at least 30 or more days. I'm going to say maybe 30 to 60 days or more. Don't have the DSM to know, particularly with a lot of different substance abuse related illnesses. I think it may be somewhere between 30 to 60 days or more. I'm going to say between 30 to 60 days. If it lasts over 30 days, but particularly 60 days, that's signs that you probably are clinically depressed. If you cannot, without effort, stop doing a certain behavior and it doesn't get in the way of your day-to-day functioning, of daily life activities, again, as I talked about, bathing, grooming, overall grooming, showering and things of that sort. Not taking a shower, not keeping your home clean. Okay. Not going to work on time or skipping work, neglect of school activities. Okay. Neglecting your family members. And you're isolating yourself in order to engage in these activities, because these are all things that addicts do, whether you're gambling, whether you're on crack, cocaine, meth, or what have you. They all do these similar things. So I just wanted to give you a brief summary of that. I'd like to get your response. Again, this is D. Durrell Spears. Have a great day.